Hello and welcome to Hickey Studio. We are live on Facebook and we are also live on YouTube. So hello if you're watching on either of the platforms. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and then you'll get all the updates of when the videos are loaded, and make sure you like our Hickey Crafts page too. So this afternoon I have got some really fab stamps to play with. They're all from Julie Hickey Designs. I've got some the Floral Fantasy stamps and the Floral Foliage, and then I've also got some of the designer series from Hazel Eaton, the All About the Girls. So today's live is very much themed about cards for the ladies, and you know, with excuse me, with Mother's Day not too far ahead, all these things can be adapted for a Mother's Day card. So I've got a pocket card with a tag. I've got an easel card. I've got this dial card. That's what I've just called it. That gives you all the different, you know, amazing, beautiful, loving, gorgeous. And then we've got this little petal fold card that when you open out has the little message inside if you have it out the right way. Okay, so those are the 4 projects we're going to do. So I'm going to just pop 3 of them aside for the moment, and we're going to make a start with this one. Now, I don't know if the camera can pick it up. I have used Cosmic Shimmer pearlescent inks on this, which gives it a real shine, and then the tag inside I've got Happy Mother's Day Mum. So let's have a look at what we're going to be using here. So please excuse check my stamps. I've been doing a lot of prep work and they are a little bit messy. So if I give you the sheet there like that, grab a piece of white paper underneath it and you can see it better. So this is the Floral Fantasy stamp set from Julie Hickey Designs, and it has this lovely sort of block here, which I've used up that way on my card, and then it has the 3 flowers which will go over these 3, but I've chosen not to do that, and it has 4 little sentiment stamps. All of those will fit into this little aperture here, so I've used that. I've also used, for the Happy Mother's Day, I've got bear with me, what have I done with those? It's another step. Julie Hickey there we go. Julie Hickey Everyday sentiment stamp set, where I've got the Happy and the Mother's Day from. It's also got Father's Day, anniversary. So that's a nice little stamp set. And then I've cut the letters using again Julie Hickey alphabet die set. I love this die set. It's a lovely size. It's a lovely font, and also I like alphabets anyway, but I love the fact that it's got duplicates. So lots of different things to play with here. So let's get started. Put the stamps to one side for the moment and we'll concentrate on making the card base. So I have a piece of card. It is the length of a piece of A4 card, and it is 6.5 inches wide, and I have marked a line all the way down, and that's at half an inch. Okay, and you'll see why I've done that in a moment. I'm going to grab a scoreboard and we are going to score this at 2 3/8 from this end. And I'm kind of wondering now if I'm supposed to have done it from a particular end, but it doesn't matter. We'll go with this 2 3/8 from that end. And then we are going to score 3/4. And we are going to score 5 inches. I'm having one of those doubting myself. Not to worry. Oh, and also I just want to score this bit along here. Don't need to go all the way along. That's going to be our flap. Okay, so this part here is going to be our pocket. Okay, and I'm going to fold it back that way. Yes, I am. And there, so what I need to do is I need to cut this bit off here. Okay, because I don't need this at all. So I'm going to do that on my guillotine. If I can. If you have one of those guillotines that or trimmers that you can go in the middle, they are a lot easier to do this kind of thing. But cut to that bit there. Okay. And the rest I'm going to do is scissors. So I am going to, I've done that, I'm going to cut up there to form a tab at the bottom, and I'm going to cut straight across there, and I'm going to cut there, and I am also going to just rub that line out now, as we do not need it. Okay, so we are going to fold and burnish these. One and that one. Ooh. That one and that one. Okay, so we have our pocket, and then we have a piece for our card, and then I'm going to stick this piece on here and then trim that down. So let's get that stuck on now. Grab some glue. I'm going to do this before I stick the pocket down, because I want to put this back into the guillotine. And then once this is done, that's the base of our card is done. So I'm going to stick. I always cut these a little bit bigger, because I find I still try and cut them to size. I find when I do try and cut them to size, particularly when I'm demoing, they're never the right size, even though I think they are. So I'm just going to put this back into my guillotine and get it to go through. Might be a little bit thick. Whoa, you know you want to. Right, okay, so I'm going to, oh, no, don't do that, don't do that. Right, I'm just kind of butting it up against my base card, but I'm not doing this very well at all. I'm gonna get my scissors. Oh, it's cut. It's just gone a little bit. I think my blade is a little bit yucky, probably gluey from other things. And then we're going to, okay, that one worked better. You can do it with scissors if you want, or you can with a craft knife. I just find I get a better edge if I do it with the guillotine, although that kind of didn't look too good. So there is my card, and I am now going to just stick the tabs down for the pocket. Literally just going to do that. Okay. And just going to leave that now to dry. Put that to one side, because that's all we need to do. I already have the matte layer ready for the front, so I haven't got to worry too much about that. And the other thing I've also done is I have already made my tag. Now it's a 3.5 inch wide one, and then I've just created the correct length so that it just sticks out the top of the pocket, and then I've just gone down in I think 1/8 of an inch increments from each side, so 1/4 of an inch. The whole tag is 1/4 of an inch smaller each time. Okay, so that's the base done. So now we want to get on to the fun bit, the stamping and colouring. So let's do the stamping first, and I'm going to do this on my stamping platform because I want to make sure I've got a good clear image. Oh, I'm not going to fuff with that for now. So that I've got a good clear image, and I want to emboss it because it goes really nice and shiny along with the nice sparkle of the ink, but also because I use quite a lot of ink, so it's nice to have that it kind of keeps the ink a little bit together. Okay, so I'm going to use Versifying Clair, grab my stamp platform, and we're going to do the main stamp first. Excuse the state of my stamping platform, but hey. And excuse the state of my card. Look, I've got ink all over my platform, which is now on my card. Plus I've got other bits. But we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Right. Stamp set. Where did I put that? I'm trying not to get myself in a big pickle before we even start. That would be just ridiculous. Okay, so this is the large stamp. If I just put it against the measurement sheets, it's about 5.5 inches by about 3 3/4. So it's a reasonable size stamp. I'm going to put it in the middle there to give myself some room. Okay, like that. And I am going to try and keep my things a little bit sorted. So bear with me if I go a little bit slowly because I'm getting myself in a muck already. Embossing powder, that's what I was looking for. Anti-static pad and my little brush. So I am just going to give it a bit of a rub over with an anti-static pad, and I like to brush off all the bits. My little brush there. Okay, so let's ink up our stamp with our Versifying Clair. This gives a really nice crisp image, and if it doesn't, it's nothing to do with the stamp or the ink. It's me. I do like stamping. I like colouring. Stamping sometimes makes me a little bit, which is why I like the stamping platform, because I know that I can go back in if I need to. Right, so I'm going to put that, I'm going to move it so that I can put a little bit of pressure on and make sure that I'm getting all the bits. Okay, and we can have a look. Ah, that's time. Excellent. So look at our powder. I'm doing this because Versifying Clair is not a particularly sort of juicy ink pad. Also to okay, so I'm just going to put that to one side, and I'm going to heat emboss that in a moment. But I'm going to do the flowers first. So I'm just going to find a piece of card for my flowers. Find my flowers. One. You can see my stamps are well used. I really do like this little set. I think because they are fantasy ones, there's no like preconception of colours. You can go make them bright, or you can make them more muted. done a couple of other videos today which use the these, in fact use all the stamps that I've got on today in different ways. So there'll be the 4 projects from our live today, plus we've videoed 4 others this morning, and all of those are suitable for Mother's Day. Again, there's a little gift box, and so make sure you pop over and have a look. Now I just noticed that I have managed to put ink on the end of my, this is why my stamp platform is so mucky, because I did it everywhere. Right, let's see. I very much doubt I'm going to get these first time like I did the other one. Let's see. So I've been, yeah, I think when I've got 3 on here, I'm not always getting the ink pad on all parts of all the stamps, particularly the middle. So I could really have just done them each individually, but it's quicker this way. Make sure that I am getting them all. A bit more there. I think I missed one there. That would seem like there's no ink on that, so let's just put a bit more ink there. Just one more go for luck. There we go. Put the lid on that ink, and then yes, that will do. I still didn't get that one, but not to worry. It's not a problem. Let's see if I've got enough powder left in here, or whether I should have tidied up after the first one. No, I think I've, probably just about got enough for that. Okay, I'm just gonna flick it off. Right, let's put the stamps back over there. Oh, look at me, covered in ink. This away. Oh, not away. Out there for a minute. And let's tidy up our embossing powder. And then, okay. Lid on before I get my heat gun out. Right, so we're going to heat emboss now. Our 3 flowers. So heat embossing, it's a case of once it starts to go, then just move your heat gun on. Don't keep it in the same place. And there you go. Once your heat gun's warmed up, it goes a lot quicker as well. I think the first time you set your heat gun on, mine's been going quite well this morning. So that's all of those done. And then let's do this image too. And then we can start on the fun bit of painting these gorgeous flowers. Right, I think we're done. There. Now, I'm not necessarily going to paint all of this. I have them prepped because obviously there's the amount of time I've got, and also you don't need to see me painting the same thing over and over. Let's have a look then at what I've got to colour with today. Let's just move those to one side. So I'm using the Cosmic Shimmer inks. Most of them are pearlescent, a couple are not. So, and I've got that one's, you can hear the ball bearing. Ball bearing helps to agitate the pearlescent thing inside the ink. So that one is Fiery Sunset. Let's see, that one's not singing. That's Flamingo Pink. What else have we got? Oh, that one's ready to go. That one is Ray of Sunshine. I've got Green Holly. I've got Turquoise Cascade that doesn't want to rattle. There it goes. And I've got Golden Sunrise. So I've got quite a collection because I wanted quite a lot of colour in this particular project. So I have this little thing. I honestly don't know where I got it or what was in it, but it is absolutely perfect for these inks because you don't need loads. And obviously once you've got it in, you can't get it really back in the bottle, so you only want to put out a little bit at a time. So these little things are better for me because they make me think more about how much I'm putting in. If you haven't seen these before, but if you've watched me before, you've seen me use them. They have this little they're a lovely glass bottle, and then they have this little pipette in there, so you can pull up the ink and then just drop in. I know I'm going to need a lot of that one because I use quite a bit. This one's Turquoise Cascade. Now, even just sitting in my little things here, the pearlescent material, the mica, I think it's mica in there, will sink to the bottom. So even when you're painting with them, you need to make sure that you give them a little bit of a stir. Just getting all our lovely colours out here. And flamingo pink. Is peacock teal. I want to put it in there as that's where it dropped. So grab some water and get a clean piece of tissue. That one's got ink all over it. And paintbrush. Now I've used two. I've used a very fine one and I've used a not so fine one for painting. So let's have a look. Start with here, and like I said, I'm not going to paint it all, but I'm just going to show you how I did the colours I did on each flower. I am going to paint all these because I do need these, I think. I don't know. Well, we'll see. Oh, see how clean my paintbrushes look. I've been doing yellow with that. Right, I'm going to start with this big flower here. I've got odds and ends of embossing powder on there. Right, so if you look here, you can see the colour, but if I then stir it, you can see the pearlescent comes back up. So always do, when you go back into these inks, when you've sort of decanted them, make sure you do stir them again. So they are watercolours and they are inks, so they are going to be fairly translucent. So this is another reason why I've used embossing powder, is because I kind of want to put a lot of ink on to get maximum effect, and also to try. You can heat dry these with your heat gun, but if you can allow them to dry naturally, you can see how absolutely gorgeous that is. Now I'm not going to complete that because I'm going to do a similar one on here, but what I will show you is, while it's still really wet like that, this is where I used the juicy orange, and I literally put some on the end of my brush and did that, and it will travel a little bit more because there's a lot of liquid on there, but that's how I did the center of that one. And I'll in fact, while we're doing that, let's do the whole of the flower on this one, and it can be drying then, can't it? So yeah, so I lots of this is the Golden Sunrise. Yes, this is the Golden Sunrise. I love this color. It's not, to me, it's not quite an orange, but it's not quite a yellow. It's a really lovely, vibrant colour there. So when I was planning this one, I was really aiming for some really quite bright brightness. Now, I am going to, and this might sound really weird, I'm going to put a bit of the colour in here, because they're not always easy to cut out right down there, and I want them to sort of fade into the background. If you look at my sample, I didn't do that, and to me the white is quite sort of stands out quite a lot, so that's why I'm doing that now. Let's get this on. Okay. And there. I'm just trying to, oh, got a little bit on there. Remember what I went around the edges in. We'll see, I think that might have been the red. So we'll just leave that. Oh, we need to add the juicy orange into the centre of those, don't we? Just like that, a little bit. Like I say, it will start to travel because there's a lot of liquid already on there. So it's just going to sort of blend in with that to create a nice little centre. Okay, let's put that one to one side for the moment. Try not to put my elbow in it. So let's have a look at this flower then and how I did this one. So for this one, I used, and I'm going to start on this one and go and do it on this one as well. I used a combination of Flamingo Pink and the Turquoise Cascade. So I'm going to start with, in fact, I'm going to use the smaller brush, and I'm going to start with the Turquoise Cascade. Now, again, it's been sat for a little while. It needs a little bit of a stir to agitate. But I'm just going to take a little bit off on my towel so that it doesn't go everywhere. Because I have embossed it, I can just paint straight over, because the heat emboss is going to resist the colour. Now, again, heavy-handed there. I'm not too worried if I go over. It will, when I add the pink, it will make a nice little purpley tinge in places, which is what happened on the sample. That's me going a little bit quick as well, it doesn't help. You can mix these inks. They are just like any other watercolour, but I quite like how vibrant they are as they are, so I'm not going to right, so I'm going to leave that to one side, and I'm just going to show this is the same flower on here. So I try to tie in the colours on this main part and the flowers, and I'm doing a really rubbish job on this one, on the tag. Now, if you were to fussy cut the flowers out, which I am for the tag, but you could also put them over here, and they would just hang off those two, which would look quite nice. Okay, so I am going to grab, I know I said about letting it dry, but just because I want to keep moving, I'm going to just dry this one off. You can see, now where I've lifted it up, you can see how that juicy orange has travelled down. It's still moving around because there's a lot of ink there. It's just kind of done its own thing and travelled down and around. This blue one I really want done. Try that one as well. Okay, now the reason I'm drying the blue one is because I'm going to now add the pink. Clean my brush off. If you're doing, because I think I've got You needed three of each possibly. You can sort of do all the blue on one and allow it to dry, and while you're doing it, make sure you've got that. It does change the colour. As soon as you get that mica moving around, it does look a different colour. So we are now going to, now like I said, it's gonna, in some places, mix with that turquoise, which gives it a nice little purpley tinge. And again, like before, I'm going up in between the petals. And in fact, I'm not overly concerned if I'm going outside of the petals, because I don't know, like me, if you're a really great fussy cutter, then you might be able to stay in all the lines. But on something like this, where I don't really want to cut into the embossed line, then if I've gone over it with the colour, even if I miss it, I'm going to end up with a bit. And actually it makes it so much easier to paint if you're not trying to keep in the line, those outside lines, and keep stirring to make sure it's all nice and shimmery, because that's one of the great things about this card, is how shimmery it all is. Okay, and it should have a pink centre, shouldn't it? Let's do the whole thing pink there. So yeah, so that's this flower on here. So this is where I did pink and so on. Okay, let's look at this other flower that I have here. Now, this is a combination. So this is Fiery Sunset. And I'm going to do these outer bits. And again, I'm almost deliberately going over the sides just in case I don't do a great fussy cut. And then it's not going to be an issue. I'm not going to have sort of white bits. Oh, that's pink. Not pink. I want red. Okay. Again, you can see I put on